Hey everyone, I'm Ramtin from NetAdmin Hub. In this tutorial, we're going to set up WireGuard on OpenWrt and then configure it to route all your outbound internet traffic through a secure tunnel. For today's demonstration, I'll be using this budget-friendly Xiaomi router. It's a very popular and modest device. But the steps are exactly the same for any router running OpenWrt. The interface and the logic never change. We'll start with the essential first steps like securing your root access and changing the default LAN IP address to avoid any possible network conflicts. Then I'll walk you through two different ways to set up WireGuard on OpenWrt. The manual method for a deep dive and the fast import method for those who want to get it done in seconds. So if you like this kind of networking tutorials, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps. Now let's dive in. So I just installed OpenWrt on this router and the configuration is default. And I connected the router to my laptop via a LAN cable because, as you know, the Wi-Fi interfaces in OpenWrt are disabled by default and we need to enable them. So let's open OpenWrt web console in the browser. The default IP address is 192.168.1.1 and the default username is root and it doesn't have any password by default. Click on login and we are in. In this status page, you can see a lot of information about this device. For example, its model, and you can see here the OpenWrt version, which is 24.10. It's the latest stable OpenWrt release by now. You can see a lot of things here. For example, memory usage, storage, Wi-Fi clients. You can look around here. Beforehand, we need to do some basic configuration and then we start. So let's set a strong password for our root user in system and then administration. Let's set a strong password here. Okay, it's done. Click on save and the next step is to enable the Wi-Fi interfaces on this router here in network and then wireless. As you can see, my router has two Wi-Fi network interfaces. I can enable both of them, but in this demonstration, I just enabled the first one, the 2 GHz Wi-Fi interface. Then I edit the SSID and set a strong password for my Wi-Fi. Click on edit and then here in this general setup tab, I change the SSID to OpenWrt-2G. In the second tab about the security, I set an encryption method and set a strong Wi-Fi password. Okay, it's done. Now I can click on save and apply and then disconnect my LAN cable and connect to this router's Wi-Fi. But let's proceed with this LAN connection. Let's go for the next step. I need to change the default LAN IP address to prevent the possible conflicts in the network. Here in network and then interface, in front of this LAN interface, I click on edit and change the default IP address to, for example, 123.1. Click on save and it's done. If you don't use IPv6 in your network, you can delete this WAN6 like me. So click on delete and done. Now I click on save and apply and click on this red apply button. Just I need to wait a few seconds so my laptop get the new IP address from the router. I can verify it from here in the terminal. Since I'm using Mac OS, I need to enter this command, ifconfig and then grep for 192. You can see the new IP address has been set on my network interface. So let's get back here in the Firefox browser and open the router console with the new IP address 123.1. You can see here the login page appeared and I need to enter my root password. Let's enter the password and we are in. I want to connect this router to a WireGuard server so my LAN client's traffic through the internet destinations goes through this tunnel. But beforehand, let's test our WireGuard configuration on our system. Then we will apply it on the router. Let's open this website, iplocation.com, which shows my public IP address. As you can see, my public IP address is in Singapore, and I expect that IP get changed after my VPN is connected. So here I have my WireGuard client on my system. Click on add and then import. Let's use this configuration, Ramtin-1. I created a WireGuard server on my personal server, but you can use any WireGuard configuration on your OpenWrt router. For example, if you're using NordVPN, ExpressVPN, Windescribe, any VPN server that provides you a WireGuard configuration, you can use it and set it on your router. So click on Allow and then Activate. After a few seconds, you can see from these two parameters, received and sent, that this tunnel is up and running. Now let's get back here and open this iplocation.com in a new tab, and we expect a new public IP address here. Here you can see my new public IP address is in Frankfurt, Germany. So our WireGuard configuration works perfectly. Let's deactivate this configuration and open this WireGuard config file in an editor. For example, I'm using VS Code here on my system. So basically, WireGuard configuration has two parts. The first part is related to our WireGuard interface on our router, and the second part is related to the server. So we need to use this information to set up our tunnel on the router. But beforehand, we need to install WireGuard package on the router. So let's get back here in Firefox and in OpenWrt Web Console. Here in System and then Software, first of all, I need to update OpenWrt repositories. So I click on Update Lists. Okay, it's done. Click on Dismiss, and now I need to search and find WireGuard package for OpenWrt. Make sure you're in this Available tab here and search for WireGuard here. So you can see there are some packages related to WireGuard here, but I just need to install this one, Lucy Proto WireGuard. As you know, Lucy is the OpenWrt Web Console. So click on Install and then Install again. Okay, the package is installed. Click on Dismiss, and you can see there are two other related packages that are installed with this package that we meant to install it. You can see all three in this Install tab too. Now I need to reboot my router once. So click on System and then Reboot and then Perform Reboot. So the router is booted up and I need to enter my root password once again. And we are logged in. Now I need to create a new interface for my WireGuard tunnel on the router. So here in Network and then Interfaces. Let's click on Add New Interface and select the WireGuard VPN 4 protocol. And we need to set a name for this interface, for example, WG1. Click on Create Interface, and in this page, I need to fill some of these fields. So let's click on Generate New Key Pair. You can see a private and public key are generated here, but I need to replace the private key provided in the config file. As you know, the first part is related to our side of the tunnel. Okay, so let's copy this private key here and replace with the old one. And the second parameter that we need to fill is this private IP address that provided in the config file. So let's copy it and paste it in this field, IP address. We don't need to fill any other fields here. They are not necessary. But make sure these two parameters are default. You don't need to disable the interface, and you need to check this bring up on boot. So every time your router rebooted, the WireGuard tunnel will be up again. And there is another option here, import configuration. You can easily import your WireGuard config file via this option. But let's proceed with the manual configuration, and then we will return and cover it too. In the second tab, Advanced Settings, I just need to set a DNS server on this interface. For example, I will using Cloudflare DNS server and also Google Public DNS server. In the third tab, Firewall Settings, I need to assign this interface to a firewall zone. Which zone? We need to select WAN zone, because this interface, this WireGuard interface, will act as a WAN interface. Okay, in the next tab, DHCP server, we don't need to change anything, but the last tab is crucial. We need to set the parameters related to the WireGuard server. So click on Add Peer, and in this page, make sure it's not disabled. If you want, you can set a description here, but the most important parts are these parameters. You need to copy this public key here and paste it here. The next one will be allowed IP addresses. So let's copy this IP address here and paste it here. And as you can see, my WireGuard configuration doesn't have pre-shared key. Let me show you another WireGuard config file. Maybe your provider give you a WireGuard configuration with a pre-shared key. So if you have this pre-shared key option here, you need to paste it here. But if you don't have, leave it empty. Okay, let me get back here. For the endpoint, I need to copy my server IP address and the port. So let's get back here. The endpoint host will be this IP address without port, and the endpoint port is just the provided port here. Okay, make sure you check this option, route allowed IPs. If you don't check this item, the LAN traffic toward internet won't go through the WireGuard tunnel. Okay, it's completed, and click on save and then save again. Let's click on save and apply and wait for a few seconds. After a few seconds, you can see TX and RX, which shows us the handshake is done and tunnel is up and running. You can see these two parameters are changing. So if I open my browser in a new tab and open iplocation.com, I expect the Germany public IP address appear here. As you can see, I disconnected my WireGuard tunnel on the system. So our traffic from our LAN network through internet destinations goes through WireGuard tunnel. So that was the manual setup. It is always good to know what's happening under the hood, right? But if you're looking for a faster way, there is a much simpler option here. Instead of filling in all those fields one by one, we can actually just import the WireGuard configuration file. This will automatically handle the interface and peer settings for us in seconds. Let's jump back into the web console and I'll show you how this quick method works. Now let's get back here in OpenWrt web console and delete this WireGuard interface that we just created. Click on save and apply, and I want to show you how to use the import option. So you can create your WireGuard tunnel very easy. So click on add new interface. The protocol will be WireGuard VPN once again, and let's name it WG2. Click on create interface, and this time I just click on this load configuration. As you can see, there's a field here. I can paste my WireGuard config here or just drag and drop the config file here. So let's copy the configuration here and paste it and then import settings. You can see all of the required fields are filled. You can see here the IP address, the private key. In the advanced settings, you can see both DNS servers are set here. In the third tab, I need to select the WAN zone here myself. And in the last tab, let's click on edit. You can see all the parameters has been set, but I need to check this route allowed IPs myself. So make sure you checked this option here and click on save. Then save again and save and apply. I expect this tunnel will be up and running in a few seconds. Just wait a few seconds and see. You can see RX and TX are counting. So let's open iplocation.com. Let me open a new tab in a private mode. So iplocation.com. Yes, you can see my public IP address belongs to Frankfurt, Germany. And there you have it. Your OpenWrt router is now a high-performance VPN gateway. But before you go, I want to share a few pro tips to ensure you're getting the absolute best out of this setup. First, let's talk about performance. The router I use today is the Xiaomi Mi4a Gigabit Edition. This is a budget-friendly and entry-level device, and it's definitely not a powerhouse. But that's exactly why WireGuard is the best choice here. Unlike heavier protocols like OpenVPN that can really struggle on modest hardware, WireGuard is designed to be extremely lightweight. It allows a router like this to handle an encrypted tunnel efficiently without maxing out the CPU and making it a much more practical solution for everyday home use. But if you're starting your OpenWrt journey and looking for a new router, I recommend to pick a router with ARM CPU. Now let's talk about a common hidden issue, the NTU settings. If you notice your websites are partially loading or sessions are hanging, you're likely facing packet fragmentation. While the default value is 1420, if your ISP uses triple PoE, I highly recommend dropping your MTU to 1412. This is a small change that makes a huge difference. You can change the WireGuard tunnel MTU in the Advanced Settings tab. Also, a quick performance hack. Head over to your firewall settings and under the routing/NAT offloading section, enable software flow offloading. This reduces the CPU overhead for routing established flows, which frees up more processing power for WireGuard's encryption, giving your throughput a nice boost. Just a heads up, if you're using SQM or QoS to manage your latency, you might want to leave this off as they aren't fully compatible together. Lastly, for those of you looking for a total privacy, don't forget to set up a kill switch. By ensuring your LAN zone is only allowed to forward traffic to your WireGuard zone, you prevent any accidental IP leaks if the tunnel ever drops. So if you want a dedicated video on setting up a bulletproof kill switch on OpenWrt, just let me know in the comments below. So that's all. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to NetAdmin Hub channel. Thanks for watching. I'm Ramtin and I'll see you in the next one.